Talk a little bit about this Surah Al-Anam. Give me 3-4 minutes, inshallah, of your precious time. Surah Al-Anam came quite miraculously. The Prophet ﷺ received like 20 some odd pages of the Quran at one time. It came down with like 60,000 angels. The Prophet ﷺ is reciting, and it's a massive testimony of the problems of the superstitious, polytheistic, backward, corrupt thinking of the Quraysh and the people of Arabia in general. And it comes in very profound eloquence, like nothing anybody had ever heard. It's one of those standalone things that, because there's no editing process to the Quran, he just said it, 20 pages, right there and then to them. And everybody was just blown away. So one element I'd like to talk about is just simply in responding to how the people of Arabia decided certain things are wrong or bad, arbitrarily. Allah says, قُلْ تَعَالَوْا أَتْلُ مَا حَرَّمَ رَبُّكُمْ عَلَيْكُمْ. Tell the people, come here, I will explain to you your nurturing Lord who has given you everything, who gives value and meaning to everything. I will explain to you what He has decided is prohibited upon you. And so he goes into like 3 ayahs explaining all these details, but I really wanted to focus on 2 elements. وَلَا تَقْرَبُوا الْفَوَاحِشَ مَا ظَهَرَ مِنْهَا وَمَا بَطَنَ. And وَإِذَا قُلْتُمْ فَاعْدِلُوا وَلَوْ كَانَ ذَا قُرْبَى. These 2 points I'm going to bring together in a statement of Imam Shafi'i shortly. And basically the first one, it means avoid those shameful, immoral behaviors and attitudes and circumstances, whether it be in public or in private, whether people will know about it or whether it's just between you and a small group or even you by yourself, right? And so that covers so many different things, but I think there's one element here that we have to focus on, and that is the notion of ostentation. What the Prophet ﷺ said he fears upon us most is ash-shirk al-khafi, that you do your religiosity around people in order to impress them, to show that you're religious. But now we know who's really religious when they are alone, just at home or with their family member or with someone close to them. They will show behaviors that are completely different than that. Using foul language, calling names, willing to watch and listen to very filthy, foul entertainment. You know me, I understand from the Prophet ﷺ's companions that entertainment was a normal thing, but they had a very principled way of being entertained. And so every Muslim should be this way. There is no way a Muslim can come and pray at the mosque, pray 5 times a day, read the Quran, and I'm a believer, and then they watch some filthy, foul, mature audience movie. It doesn't make any sense. Or I'm a good believer and I'm serious on this path, and they listen to things, there's F and this and this and the BI and all of these words. There's no way a believer would do this. This is fawahish. And I want to warn all of our parents here. I have come to know as an imam that a lot of parents are very naive. Naive means you just want to believe things are good, but you don't pay attention to the dangers of a cell phone. The psychological and spiritual harms of pornography is a very real, very serious impacting reality in this country. And there are so many kids addicted to this. There are so many adults addicted to this. And so it's very important for us to really think, if I'm a pious person, if I'm truly working to be rightfully taking in this message of the Quran, to be rightfully taking the benefits of Ramadan and the fasting, at-taqwa, then I need to really check myself when nobody's around. How am I? What do I do? What am I willing to do? And so we have to really think about that point. Second point is, وَإِذَا قُلْتُمْ فَعْدِلُوا وَلَوْ كَانَ ذَا قُرْبَى. If you're going to speak about something in moral consequence where people are doubting or people are debating or in conflict, you should be just and clear and honest, even if it's your close family member that is wrong. Even if it's your close family member that's the one who's wrong here. So when somebody's debating or somebody's saying somebody did something wrong, it's very easy for us to feel like our family member or our close friend, that we have to defend them or just go along with them or act like we're not aware of the problem. But Allah is commanding. This is a command. وَإِذَا قُلْتُمْ فَعْدِلُوا. All of you must be just Even if, meaning, of course, not your close family, no matter who it is, you should be honest and fair to create a sense of even-handed justice, where there is no sense of tribalization of morality, which was one of the fundamental, amazing, profound, revolutionary elements of the Prophet's message to a people who were fully engrossed in it. That was one of the biggest miracles, is the transformation of these people, because these ayahs hit them in their heart and changed them dramatically. And so I want to bring Imam al-Shafi'i. He said, "Ashaddul a'mal thalatha." Okay? He said, the most difficult deeds of true religiosity are three. The first one, al-judu min qilla. We all know that when you have tight financial means, it's hard to be very generous. So he's saying being generous even when, but we know the Prophet ﷺ is the best example. When the Prophet had it the most tight that he could be, where he was starving and his stomach was just, empty and growling, he would still give whatever he had when he was asked. Right? But then he says what? Al-wara' fil khalwa. Here he's bringing it, وَلَا تَقَبُوا الْفَوَاحِشَ مَا ظَهْرَ مِنْهَا وَمَا بَطَنْ. That you have piety when you're just alone, either with yourself or like one person. That in that moment, you don't think, well, now nobody sees me. You're fully aware that Allah is watching you, right? And then the last one he says what? Kalimatul haqq 'inda man yurja wa yukhaf. Speaking the truth when you're around someone that you would hope that their gains from being around them, that they would be able to benefit you. But you're willing to speak the truth, which now will turn that person off. That person will not like to hear that truth because it's against them. But you're hoping for their benefit. You're hoping for their good influence, or you fear what they might say or do. So speaking the truth when you fear what somebody might say or do in retribution to you is one of the most difficult things. وَإِذَا قُلْتُمْ فَعْدِلُوا. You see, one of the things that I've recognized over the years in trying to evolve as a believer in the progression, as we should all be doing, praying 17 times a day, اهْدِنَا الصِّرَاطَ الْمُسْتَقِيمَ, is that there was this thing that came to me for my early years in Islam, that okay, if it's ayah or if it's hadith, this is the solid truth. And these scholars are just peoples with an opinion. There may be some truth to that in some realm, but when you read the scholars' opinions and you know the Quran very well, you see that they are packing to you jam-packed gems of a deep, rich understanding of the Quran and the Sunnah, so that you can swallow it in such a very easy sentence. And so when Imam al-Shafi'i is saying this, he's not just trying to be some sage with his own wisdoms. He's actually reflecting for us this beautiful, rich, deep understanding of Islam. So may Allah bless us with that understanding, and may Allah protect us in the open and in the private, and may He make our words be those words that will bring justice and truth to the world, so that compassion and altruism can be standardized. So inshallah we'll continue with Tarawih. Jazakumullah khair for your patience.